I'll call the meeting to order. Everybody have a chance to look over the agenda so we can get an approval of the agenda.
I would move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And the minutes from the last meeting? Do you have any changes or corrections or additions? Or an approval motion? Anybody want to start an approval motion for that? Sorry, flipping through, sorry.
Was that a, oh,
For the minutes from the previous meeting.
gotcha.
I'll make a motion. As read, is that it right?
That's good. Just approve the
Yep.
minutes.
Need a second yet?
I looked them over, but I wasn't here.
You weren't here, yeah? You weren't here either, were you?
Tanya,
Hey,
would
Tanya, would you be willing to second the minutes?
the approval of the minutes?
Okay. Good.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Let's do a quick roll call so Tanya knows who's here since she can't see us.
Yes. Okay, we'll do the roll call. I'll start. Christy Bitterman, president here.
I'm Jordan Unterbrunner, business manager for LifeQuest.
Bonnie Scott, First Circuit CASA.
Of course, Jessica, I'm here.
Amy.
Jan Quinzer.
I'm John Dosher.
And that was John. The last one that is not here yet is Whitney, and she was going to join via Zoom if she is able to attend. But we do have a quorum.
Okay.
So the first one on the agenda was transit policies. We're going to hold off on that until our attorney, Justin Johnson, can join us.
Okay. Procurement policy.
So in the packet is the procurement policy. That was sent out by mistake instead of our new one. That is the old one that was approved back in 2019 by the board. A new one got emailed out this morning by Amy. And what happened is the state went through a federal review. And with that federal review, they found some errors in the procurement policy process. So they sent us a new packet to update and change. So it'd be our procurement policy, but following the state and federal requirements. So the procurement policy that was emailed out is the correct one that we need to follow per state and federal requirements. And we need to have board approval for the procurement policy.
Okay.
I was just going to add, I did look at it a little bit this morning. It looks like everything that we sent out in the packet is pretty much in there. They just added extra stuff.
Correct.
More rules. Okay. Anybody want to make a motion? Do you have any other questions about it?
Since I'm new, can you tell me what this is?
So procurement is the purchase of big items, essentially, and making sure that we follow the same processes to make it fair for everyone, that we're not showing favoritism to certain companies, or if there's any connections to certain people that, say my uncle sells something and we go through him instead of somebody who might be cheaper.
So you have to do the bid process.
in the bid process or review quotes, or there's lots of different steps that we would have to follow. And then we have to document all of our steps because we get federally audited on this.
Thank you.
Oh,
Motion to approve.
Tanya
Thank you,
motions
Tanya.
the improvement.
Now I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks, Tanya, that works out well.
That did. Hang on to it. Okay, next on our list is Palace Transit Passenger Appeal.
So we have a passenger that has been, we have rejected this passenger's rides from service due to quite a few things. The biggest thing, we refused service basically because this passenger has done damage to the bus. We've had to replace the plexiglass directly behind the driver's head because this passenger violently broke it while on transporting the bus. We've had issues with this passenger who's in a wheelchair. When this passenger's on the lift, they violently rock back and forth on their device, and it makes it dangerous as the lift is going up on the bus and about ready to fall off. We've had issues with this person being loud and distracting for the drivers, and we've also had an instance where this passenger has bit a driver. So after the plexiglass was broken behind the driver from that violent attack, we refused service for this passenger. However, in your packet, you can see that in our policies, we have an appeal process. The appeal process, if a passenger is in disagreement with the penalty resulting from the enforcement of the policies, a written request for appeal may be submitted. Appeals must be presented in writing or in person. If you prefer a hearing, please indicate this in your written request for appeal. Also indicate special accommodations or requirements that are needed. So you can see in your packet that we have an appeal from the Mitchell Public School District, because that is who pays for the contract for this person's rides. And they are writing on behalf of the passenger to provide rides again. They're asking to reinstate her rides home from school.
Did they give any reason as to why they should be allowed to have?
Well, it says in the letter, I'm asking to reinstate transportation for Harley with Palace Trans to be reconsidered. There have been some positive changes with her recently. She has had a medication adjustment addition, added an antidepressant, has had several vehicle rides with family that result in positive experience, and her school struggles have decreased. If
When
you,
did this happen?
This
That we-
is-
That we canceled her ride?
the last one was in the spring of last school year. We did some research on this, and it says if we grant transportation rights, we would highly suggest that we would do a requirement of a personal care attendant to ride to and from the school with her, and do that for at least 30 days, if not longer. And according to ADA Title 49, Subtitle A, Part 37.5, it is not discrimination under this part for an entity to refuse to provide service to an individual with a disability because that individual engages in violent, seriously disruptive, or illegal conduct, or represents a direct threat to the health and safety of others. However, an entity shall not refuse to provide service to an individual with a disability solely because of the individual's disability results in appearance or involuntary behavior that may offend, annoy, or inconvenience employees of the entity or other persons. So that's why we did refuse the service, because it was violent and disruptive, and it wasn't because of the person's disability. It was becoming a major safety concern.
Was there more than one incident leading up to
Yes,
this?
yes.
That was the impression I got.
Yes, the final incident was the breaking of the plexiglass. There was lots of warnings that were sent out. Like I said, it went from, there was the biting, there was the yelling, there was the rocking back and forth on the lift, almost falling off. But the final incident was the breaking destructive of the bus.
Is this individual picked up at their home?
They're picked up at the school and brought home
Or after school?
after school, yes.
So what you're asking them, if we would reinstate, they would have to have someone ride with her for 30 days?
Yes, if you choose to reinstate her transportation, we would ask that you also put in a requirement to have a personal care attendant ride with for at least 30 days, if not longer.
And I see they've added some point of contacts here.
Correct.
Have we reached out to any of them?
Yes.
And overall, their feedback?
They would like for her to try that. They said that she has changed.
Because of medication?
That's what they stated, yes.
If you had a personal attendant, or if you did a 30-day trial with the personal attendant, what would you recommend be the criteria for continuing on without an attendant? In other words, what?
I would say she has to be incident-free during that time with an attendant. If she's not, will the school supply a person? Yes, they would have to supply a person.
Is 30 days enough?
That's up to you. I know the federal rules say we can't require a person indefinitely, so you have to put a timeline on.
Okay.
What about if you had a timeline with a personal attendant, and then if it was incident-free, and then something were to occur again after the personal attendant was not there?
We would have to go through
Would you
this
want to
process
take-
again.
Okay.
Then we would just,
Could you have, though, a stipulation or a requirement if another incident happens, reinstating personal attendance?
No, because that would be an indefinite thing,
makes
so we'd have to refuse transportation again, and then we'd have to go through this process again.
but now if she had like one instance of it, could it get refused again then
Yes.
in the future? Okay. And we just start.
We always reserve the right to refuse
Okay.
service.
Even if there's a personal attendant,
Correct.
that
Correct.
would still be an option.
Can we legally say she cannot ride now?
Yes, we can, according to ADA Title 49, Subtitle Part A, Point 37.5, because it's not discrimination to refuse a service if they engage in violent, seriously disruptive, or illegal conduct.
So what if we said 30 days? I'm just throwing this out to everybody here. 30 days with an attendant and 60 days incident-free, and then be okay to ride if,
But the thing
Would that be
is, then after your 60 days incident-free, then there was an incident, it
then you'd
wouldn't
have
make
to,
it, yeah.
yeah, then you'd have to refuse services again?
Yep,
So the stipulation that we would be able to make at this point in time is 30 days with a personal attendant.
30 days, 60 days, whatever you guys feel is necessary.
And that's all we can do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or we could.
Or you can refuse service
Oh,
altogether.
Yeah. mhm.
Do you have estimate on how many incidences occurred previously prior to?
It's been ongoing for years.
Based upon that, I would make the recommendation that it be a 60-day with a personal attendant.
So you want to make a motion for 60 days?
Yes, I would
Okay.
make a motion for 60 days based on,
So Tanya, Bonnie made a motion for 60 days with a attendant. We're having issues with our sound, and then my camera's not working. Every time I hit this, it says.
Do you need a second?
Thank
I'll
you.
second that.
Thank you. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. So 60 days with personal attendant.
My question is then after 60 days, we can bring it up again and talk about it? Okay.
I went through all this and tried, and we have Justin here, so we can go
I was
to.
going to say, go back to number 1. We'll talk about the transit policies.
I'll let you talk. Okay, we have Justin Johnson here to talk about our number 1 item, the transit policies.
So I can give just a little bit of background here. Several months ago, there was a complaint brought to the city from a citizen in regards to several city policies and one ordinance. One of the policies was the transit policy that you're discussing today. There is a state statute that would prohibit a city from adopting or enforcing ordinances that would prohibit the, I don't know if you have the language up in anywhere, but there we go. No municipality may pass an ordinance that restricts or prohibits or imposes any licensure requirement or licensure fee on the possession, storage, transportation, purchase, sale, transfer, ownership, manufacture, or repair of firearms or ammunition or their components. The enforcement of that section also ends up resting with the Attorney General's office. So after the complaint initially came in, it eventually worked its way to the Attorney General's office, and we've been going back and forth with them for probably close to 3 months. And just a couple weeks ago, we got final word from them that they are saying that we need to change our transit policy. Just for your information, the other policy that they said we needed to change was a cemetery policy that would have also prohibited firearms. That was done previously by the Gulf and Cemetery Board. We're in the process of changing a city ordinance to remove the firearms language. And then there was one policy in relation to the rec center that the Attorney General's office said would be able to stay in place, and that's just because it's connected with the school, and the school used the facility, and it's surrounded by school, and they have their own separate, gun-free zone language in state statute. So that's why that one got different treatment. So I think that's pretty much all the background I can provide to you.
So essentially on general palace transit policies, number 6, it says law prohibits firearms, knives, and any other weapons on transit vehicles. We have to remove that from our transit policies.
So do we need to vote on that, or is there really nothing we can do anyway? So we pretty much need a motion in a second.
I make a motion to remove from the policies.
Can I get a second? Tanya, you want to second that one? I think she said sure.
Sure, you can read mouths.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thanks for your help, Justin.
Okay, we are on to South Dakota DOT Surface Transportation Grant Agreement.
So in your packet is the transportation agreement. This is our annual operating and administrative grant agreement. I'm just bringing it to you for information. The council approved it Monday night, and this is the funds that we will receive. Usually, we have this grant to us before we start operating. The transit operation year is October 1st through September 30th, and we didn't get the grant agreement till November, so we didn't know how much money we were operating on for the first month of our operations. But we did get it, so that's what's on there. This is just for your information.
Anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Alice Transit contract.
So this is just another contract that we received that we would like you to approve. It's to provide transportation to the vocational rehabilitation of North Dakota to provide rides for voc rehab, but they're out of Bismarck. It matches the same as all of our other ones.
Out of Bismarck.
Yeah, they have, voc rehab has a client here in Mitchell.
Oh, but they're using the services from Bismarck.
Well, yes, they're using Bismarck services, but they're here in Mitchell and they need Mitchell's transportation.
Okay. A little confusing.
Yes, it is.
Sense now.
Yes.
Thanks for the explanation.
So you need a
Agreement
motion.
to have
Tanya
her-
motioned.
Okay.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. On to, let's see here, we're on that one. The Blizzard meals.
We're doing our annual Blizzard meals, and within those, what a Blizzard meal is a shelf-stable meal in case the power goes out or somebody's stuck at home and they can't make anything. These are one-year shelf-stable meals available to our nutrition participants. They include a can of tuna, some crackers, graham crackers, milk, and applesauce. Anything else, Amy?
Raisins, fruit juice.
Oh, yeah. And we put that out. We just wanted to let you know that we're doing that again this year. We put the flyers out to our participants, so if you know anybody who's interested, we will put together a Blizzard meal for them.
We actually put a deadline of yesterday, but we can still take some orders.
Okay, just kidding.
Okay, is that all with that one?
That's it.
Citizens input, we don't seem to have anybody here. We'll skip by that one. Department reports and updates, starting with Palace Transit.
In your packet is September and October's ridership. Do you have any questions on anything there?
Nope.
Next would be Mitchell Volunteer Program.
Just a little summary of kind of what they've been doing again, like for the month of October, the volunteers.
And Kim's back, right? Did I see
Well,
that on Facebook?
I'm coming to that one.
Oh, sorry. Jumping the gun.
Again.
Hey, that means it's getting out because I knew about it.
Yes.
Anything else about the volunteer program?
No.
Any questions? Okay. Adult nutrition.
In the packet is the, kind of where the results from October for nutrition. You can see for our projection, or for our monthly goal, we were down 90 meals.
We do have some new frozen meals, the second meals coming in that will be just offered one time for the holidays. They offered us, there's a chicken or turkey meal. And then what's the other one?
Ham.
Ham. So
So
that's
like, yep, the turkey will be like turkey, sweet potatoes, beans, and the ham is also sweet potatoes, beans.
so a couple of new options.
Okay. Are those available now or?
Our truck comes next week.
Okay. Will you put like an email or like through the book system, like for us, for them to know that's there?
Yeah, I'll send out email and to all the sites, I'll send out new menus.
Sounds good.
They're already made.
Awesome.
On the ball.
Anything else with that one? Anybody? Okay, James Valley Community Center, which I jumped on.
Well, attached to the, agenda is your activity calendar. Great news, we hired a part-time activities coordinator, and it's somebody who is familiar with the programs. Kim Berg, who used to be our activities coordinator, has returned. She's only here a couple days a week, but we'll take her for those couple days a week. She has a lot of knowledge. People love working with her. She's already lined up a bus trip. She has a music coming up in December. They're going to play holiday music. She's working on the After the Holidays party. She has some great ideas, some great contacts. We're excited to have her back. And also to go with that, we hired a part-time custodian, too. We're super excited to have him. His name is Tony. He is doing a fantastic job. We've had members come in and say they don't remember this place being this clean, so he's doing a wonderful job keeping the building clean. We're excited to have him, too. All we have left to hire now is a part-time office assistant to basically be at the front desk to help when members come in, to do some data entry and answer phones. So that's the last employee we're looking to hire for now.
Good.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a relief.
Yes, it's been nice having staff.
Everything runs much more smoothly when you have staff.
Yes. I get some of my work done. It's nice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We did just get the 2 new part-time bus drivers,
Oh,
too, right?
yes, we did. We got 2 new part-time bus drivers. So we have drivers again.
Do you have any more openings for those, or are those all filled now?
They're filled right now.
Yay, that's excellent. It was,
Good.
especially when you see all the restaurants around that are closing their hours because they can't find help. so.
Right.
Okay. Anything more on that? Next meeting date.
So I would recommend not doing a December meeting. Everybody's busy, and there shouldn't be too much for the agenda for December. So I would suggest waiting till January for our next meeting. The second January of the month is, sorry. Oh, I had it for a while. January 13th.
It sounds crazy to be talking about January meetings.
It does.
But it starts.
2022.
Here we go.
That's even crazier.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for coming. I guess I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay.
And thanks, Tanya, for working with the no volume and no camera.
Yes, you did very well.
You're very
Thanks.
flexible.
She's a good person.
Yes, lucky. All right, thanks, everyone.